Brilliant ideas, ladies and gentlemen, can come in all shapes and sizes. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you an idea for an e-commerce business that is already proven to work, and not just work in the sense that it's making a few sales. This brand that I'm going to show you as an example is doing over $1 million per month in sales with an idea that is much simpler than you probably think about $1 million a month store being. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to talk about the marketing. We're going to talk about the idea and the market as a whole, the Shopify store so you can get some design inspo and more. So let's get right into it. The store I'm talking about is called Spark Paws. And if you've never seen this store before, I'll give you a quick rundown. What it is they sell puppy merch. So merch for your dog. Now that may sound silly to you, especially if you don't have a dog, but this is absolutely massive in the US. And this is the first point that I want to make, the first little golden nugget of value that I want to give you. A hack is to take things that are working in the US that maybe you don't understand completely yet and transferring it to an untapped market. Let's say, for example, Germany, right? Germany is a massive market with a ton of consumer spend, and this is probably not as popular there yet. But a lot of the trends in the world tend to come from the West, from the US. So this is a great example of something like that you could capitalize on quite easily in other countries outside of the US. But even within the US, this is not super popular in terms of businesses doing this. And what I will say is that this business has done it at probably the highest level you could imagine. So let's go into the second part of the video now, which is, or the second value drop, I guess, which is the landing page design and the products. So as you see, the product photography is actually quite simple. The images aren't even all the same size, but it is really good and it just feels authentic and raw. Now, the other thing I want to mention about the landing page is that it's so simple, right? This is a super fast website, but this theme is nothing special. With Shopify, you could achieve an exact copy of this with a free theme. In fact, the Dawn theme looks almost identical to this. As you see right here, here's an example. The landing pages have these same tabs that you see on the store, these tabs right here. So that's a really good one. And Shopify, with the link in the description, is only $1 a month. I have to mention that because a lot of you guys are not taking advantage of it. You're just watching my videos, but you're not actually taking action on your business. And I think that's a mistake, because the more you actually take action and pair that with some of the knowledge and research that I show you in my channel, that's how you're going to compound your success. That's how we compound our success at Akemi. It's my growth partner company. I don't call it an agency as much anymore because we don't really work with a ton of people. We only work with a certain select few brands. And we've had some incredible success this year. For example, one of the brands that we work with, we took them from 100K a month to almost $1 million a month this month in about 6 months. So that's 10x growth in 6 months, which is incredible. And obviously, we can't take full credit for that. It's just an incredible team that is built for this business. So, that's kind of why the growth partner term fits a lot better for what we do these days, because we just kind of plug ourselves into the business and treat it like our own. And obviously, you can't do that at scale by having 100 different clients. You can only really do that with 5 clients at most. So that's what we're doing. But let's continue with this story, right? Enough about my agency. Now, so let me conclude this second point that I was making before we move on to the third, which is just the simplicity of the landing page. I think a lot of people spend tons of money investing into just a crazy landing page design. And unfortunately, I think that's only due to the marketing that these web design agencies present to you, because ultimately, most of the brands that invest in that sort of design are not doing $1 million a month. And a lot of the brands that are doing $1 million a month keep it quite simple. There's a popular saying by Charlie Munger, who is obviously one of the richest men in the world and just has a bunch of really good philosophies for business, which is to not disrupt compounding unnecessarily. And I find that to be so relevant to e-commerce. I've seen it in some of the brands that we work with. I've seen it in some of the brands that I've created. And it's a big mistake that I've made and other people make as well. So I want you to not make this mistake, is the quote that I just said, don't disrupt compounding unnecessarily. So if your website is converting, if you're getting sales, if you're really profitable on your ad spend and overall your business is growing, there's not a lot of things you should be changing. You should just be doubling down on what works. This happens a lot. If your website is doing well, you just get kind of caught up in this cycle of wanting to just make things, more professional or super clean, whatever. And sometimes that disrupts the compounding and people just don't like it. Sometimes customers will react not how you expect it to the changes that you've made. I think it's a much better idea to simply invest in content. So, for example, good photos, I think will go much further than a new site design, especially because of the time that it takes to actually create a new site. I think content is a much better idea to invest in. And these guys truly understand that because their content is really, really good. Now, the next thing I want to talk about with their Shopify business is the story behind the business and the reviews. So they actually have that in a tab, which is super cool. Now, this is a cool little story. They were created in 2017 because it was impossible to find clothes for their Frenchie bulldog. So that's how the brand started, right? With these people that actually had an interest in the niche. So they understood exactly what was missing in the market. That's another really great point. That's the third point that I want to make. A lot of people tell you not to follow your passions, and I think there are merits to that. You don't need to follow your passions to make money online. But when it comes to building your business, it is a good idea to try to look for competitive advantages that you may have, because ultimately business is a competition and you shouldn't focus on competition too much, but you should at least know where you defeat the competition or what advantages you have. And a big advantage that you could have is simply just having more knowledge than the competitors on the actual market. If you're a user of your product, you're going to know exactly what you need in terms of marketing angles, the pain points that you have that you want solved, and all those sorts of things. So it actually is a good idea to have a passion in whatever it is you're trying to sell, or look for products that you really understand. So whether it be for info products, softwares, services, or just, drop shipping products, this applies to all those things. And, if you've been following the channel for a while, a lot of people have sort of dropped off, but I've been trying more and more to just learn the fundamentals of business and kind of regurgitate that information to you, because I've truly seen how much of an impact that has on any business. If you learn the fundamentals, such as what I just told you, like having a competitive advantage in your business, you're actually going to be able to transfer that across many different businesses, and you're going to be able to provide value for a ton of different businesses. And personally, that's what I'm trying to do. I want to build a portfolio of companies that I can provide value to. Now, the next thing is their marketing and social media overall. They are putting a huge amount of effort into social media. Now, their organic content doesn't really do that well, which is surprising to me, given that puppies or dogs in general seem to be one of the most trending niches when it comes to theme pages. So they're definitely doing something wrong there that just isn't really working too well. But ultimately, they still have built a big following. So what that tells me is that they are running a lot of ads on TikTok. TikTok is definitely a good place to run ads. Now, same thing with Instagram. On Instagram, they actually are getting a bit more engagement, but it's similar to the other platforms in terms of overall engagement. However, it's not all about the engagement that you're getting on social media when you're a brand at this level. Sometimes it's just about showing that it's a trustable brand, right? Like even if only 300 people like this out of the 300,000, those people are super engaged, right? I mean, those people are very passionate about this and they trust the business a lot. And there's a common saying out there that you only need 1,000 true fans in order to build a multi-million-dollar business. And it's true. And this is an example of that, though they have a lot more than just 1,000 fans. And here's one thing that they aren't doing very well, in my opinion. So this is some room for improvement that they could apply, is just reposting all their content. I don't know why some brands don't do this, but that's probably the easiest way to build more traffic and just for free, basically, is by just reposting all the content that you're making into either this page or just a separate page. I think for some reason brands are afraid to, diversify into more pages that they're posting organic content on. But I find that by doing that, you're actually increasing the likelihood that your videos will go viral, which would give you more traffic, more sales. So potentially posting on different pages is not a bad idea. Obviously, most brands don't have the time to do that. So you may need to hire somebody. If you need help with that, contact thekemi.co. That's our agency website. We can help you connect with the right people as well, even if we don't work together. So just fill out our form and we'll connect you with the right people that you need for your business. But ultimately, this is a great business. I love it, and I wanted to share it with you, kind of break it down live and see what we can learn from it. I think there's always something to be learned from these businesses, and it's not just about copying them. And obviously you should always focus mostly on your business, but lucky for you, I take the time to break these down so that you don't have to spend a lot of time actually doing the research. This was also posted in the Akemi Lab Discord, which is basically our research community with a forum on top of it, kind of like back in the old days in ancient Greece where philosophers would come together and just talk and talk and talk, except with this community, it's all online, so the discussion is much bigger. It's centered around e-commerce and online business, and there's real-time data being posted every single day from the leading brands in the world, from the most engaged TikToks out there, so you can easily copy them and take them for your business and make your business viral. And, just things of that nature, e-commerce trends that are really interesting, a lot of really cool stuff. So I suggest you check out the Akemi Lab. It's a really cool community. You don't have to, obviously, but I'm always taking advantage of that community. I check it out every day, and that's actually how I discovered this brand. So check it out in the description. Start your Shopify store. Hit us up at Akemi if you need help with your business in any way, and we can connect you with the right people. And that's about it. See you in the next video. Peace.